I too was skeptical when I first saw the KosherSwitch for the first time. After speaking with Menashe Kaladi for many hours, explaining to me exactly the technological side as well as the halachic, the Jewish law side of how the KosherSwitch works, I was mesmerized to be blessed to see such an invention in my lifetime. By now you've probably seen many writings and teachings and perhaps videos explaining exactly how the KosherSwitch works and how it is permissive according to Jewish law. I'm not here to make any ruling, only to say that from an historical perspective, I think that the KosherSwitch is monumental. And those who know a little bit of the history of technology and how halacha, Jewish law, has adapted to modern technology, there's been many stages of development in accepting many modern technological advances. But over the years, as we've learned more about the intricacies of halacha and how they apply to the very vast, intricate details that are involved in many technological advances, from as simple as something as the refrigerator to a time clock. At first, many great sages were reluctant to use many of these simple devices. But then as time has passed, many great sages throughout the world, including America and Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, have accepted, based on their better understanding of how these things work, to in fact use these things on Shabbat. It's clear that the KosherSwitch is a gift to the person who wants to better keep Shabbos, who wants to better be able to celebrate Shabbat, and not to have the great challenge of living in the dark, literally. And literally being able to go over to the switch and turn it on or to turn it off to save electricity or to turn it on to use electricity, and at the same time not profaning the Shabbos. The Shabbos is what keeps the Jewish people together. The Shabbos is what keeps the Jewish people holy. The Shabbos is the greatest day of the week. And to be able to have both a normal lifestyle, to live in light, and to be able to function as a normal human being in an enjoyable environment, and at the same time to be able to use technology and something as simple as a switch, and not having to be worried that maybe I'm profaning the Shabbos, but on the contrary, rather knowing that I'm actually keeping Shabbat at the same time being able to do my daily function, is an unbelievable thing. And I think that it's very much like what the time clock was in its day, and how it changed the lives of millions of Jews around the world, with being able to set a timer to turn on and off in an air conditioner, or a timer to set on and off an alarm clock on Shabbat, and things like that, to be able to go over to the switch and to be able to simply turn it on and off. At first you're reluctant because for generations, for decades, we're not used to that. But then again, for decades, how did they light fires in the times of the Talmud? How did they make heat in a person's home Shabbat morning when all the wood had burned out from Friday night? Or how did they keep their food warm? How did they have cholent Shabbos afternoon? And the answer quite simply was that a Gentile was systematically put in place to come to the homes and put wood in the fireplaces and put wood in the stoves to keep the food warm and to keep the homes warm. And this was something that was accepted amongst the sages in the times of the Talmud. And very similarly today, what technology has done is taken place of those kinds of practices that were clearly accepted even in the times of the Shas and the times of the Talmud, which were clearly permissible on Shabbat. And so these kinds of things, to the great merit of our generation, that Menashe Kaladi and the KosherSwitch company have now managed to develop such a fascinating system of hardware and software to be able to do this on Shabbat. So my blessings go out to the company, and my encouragement goes out to everyone to consider this. Don't take it from me, but to do your research on the website and look into it and ask your rabbi to look into it and to see, is this something that's for you? Is this something that you feel you're ready to take on? Some people weren't ready to use the time clock. Some people weren't ready even to use the refrigerator. Can you imagine? And there are questions in all of these electronic devices, and you should be aware that there are questions. But there are just as many answers, and that's the key. And if you learn hard and you study and you research, you'll find some amazing, amazing things that in fact can make your Jewish life more enjoyable, more practical, and more capable. Judaism was meant to be lived, to be celebrated, to be enjoyed. And if we have things like this, there's no reason why we shouldn't use them, especially with the massive collection of rabbinic responsa that has been written up and compiled in response to this project. I just hope that the KosherSwitch will go on to many other products like this that will enhance the use of all types of devices that will help us enhance the Shabbos experience, and both at the same time, not, God forbid, to profane or to take away the spirit of Shabbat, to take away the spirit and the beauty of Shabbos, but at the same time to make things more usable and accessible, especially to those people who don't necessarily consider keeping Shabbat because of so many of these challenges. This is one way that we could promote the keeping of Shabbat, to say, hey, it's not as difficult as it used to be. We could still celebrate Shabbat, and you could still do all these things that you feel that maybe you can't. So again, I wish them tremendous success in everything that they do, and I encourage you to look into it and ask the questions and find the answers. And the KosherSwitch, like the kosher lamp, who imagined that they would be able to make a lamp that you could turn on and off, right? Or any other invention like that we're using today, like the hot water machines that have also automatic devices that you're able to use in Shabbat as well. So God bless you, and buy a KosherSwitch.